Hey guys, welcome back to Hosting the Spirit. My name is Seb.
My name is Mimi.
And I'm so excited for the episode that we have for you guys today. This is our first official episode with a guest. We have with us today Michael Boles. He's a great friend of ours. He works for Nick Vujicic, and he's going to be able to tell us more about that today. But man, he's been such a blessing to us, like spiritually, as a brother. Me and him, we run a young adult Bible study together as well. And ever since I've met him, he's just been one of the most desperate after Jesus Christians, especially young adult Christians that I know. But Mike, how you doing, bro?
Good. I love that you just said I was desperate. But you twisted it, got it back. Because that's been my prayer, actually.
Really?
That we would be a generation that's desperate for Jesus. And that's where I believe revival stems from, is being desperate. But I'm doing good, man. I'm excited. Thanks for coming over.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
I love what you said about that because I feel like there is a big transformation that comes with this realization that you are, not only do you know who the Lord is, but you know that you need Him. Mm-hmm. And I think that that's where you come to the end of yourself and you realize that you need the cross every day. But we just want to hear more about your story. This is the first time I'm meeting you, so I don't know anything. So I'm excited to hear about what the Lord has done in your life.
Yeah. No, I mean, I'm an open book. Whatever you guys want to learn or ask me, we'll shoot away.
Just tell us your story. Tell us how you met Jesus.
I was born in 1998. Tomorrow's my birthday, actually, which is cool.
No, bro, you just now told me this.
Yeah, you told me like a couple days ago, don't tell me any more stories. We got to unfold on the podcast.
Oh my gosh. And you figured your birthday was something to keep from me? That's crazy.
So we're having a hoedown at the other house down the street if you guys want to come.
I'll be there. Do you want to go?
Sure.
Let's go to a hoedown.
Yeah.
I've never been to a hoedown.
6.
What do you do at a hoedown?
Well, it happened to just land on my birthday, so
okay.
I'm like calling it my birthday party.
Oh, I got you.
But I'm not actually hosting it. But they're going to give me a cake, which is cool.
Okay.
But anyway, no, I grew up, my parents are believers. I'm in the middle between two sisters, and they're both 3 years apart to the exact day, which is pretty interesting. But they were both born on March 21st, and I'm right in the middle. So I'm a year and a half younger than my older sister and a year and a half older than my younger sister.
Wow.
And both my parents got radically saved in the 80s, and they met each other in Virginia at Regent University, but they're both from the same town in Oregon, and both went to the same high school in Salem, Oregon, Sprague High School.
That's crazy.
And they met in Virginia, so it's really interesting just to see like how the Lord, His hand has been involved in our generational family. And both my parents, I would say, have broken the curses from broken families. They grew up, in a lot of abuse and broken families. So
yeah,
it's cool to see like me and my sisters stem from that we've both been, kind of the first generation of having a solid foundation for our lives. And growing up, I accepted Jesus when I was 5 years old. I ran downstairs to my parents, and I guess I understood the gospel enough, and I knew Jesus was somebody worth giving your life to, so I gave him my life, and both my parents led me through salvation prayer at 5. Was going to church, tried to be a good kid growing up, and I just always fell short. Like I would be told you gotta, check these boxes, follow these rules. And I'd always find myself in the principal's office, getting in trouble for pranking people, like getting blamed for stuff that I never did, and just always fell short. You want to hear my whole testimony?
Yeah, dude.
I'm ready to go in for it.
Yeah. I've never heard that side of your story though. That's interesting. I didn't know you grew up Christian.
Yeah.
I didn't know your parents were.
No, I'm really blessed to have grown up in the church, but through middle school, you start to get older and think for yourself, and I was chasing popularity, trying to have a girlfriend in 6th grade. Thought it was like true love. And was the quarterback of our football team and trained year long with guys that are now in the NFL, and was like in this big program, and it was like the thing that I believed I was destined for, is to like go play college football, and I had dreams of going to the NFL.
Wow.
And we had a really good, youth team. And then my freshman year of high school, everyone in the town was like, this freshman class could actually win state for Sprague High School by their senior year. Like, they're just a very special group of guys. And I was like, and I'm going to be the quarterback that leads them to state. And so I trained, got in to my first freshman football game, dropped 2 snaps, and then was just rattled from there. Wow. And got benched and moved to second string, and my whole life crumbled apart. It sounds so silly looking back now, but at the time I trained for 4 years since I was 10 years old, year round. It was my life, my God, and it was an idol in my life. And then getting benched, I kind of looked to different things. I started partying, saw that there was some upperclassmen that were like, you were not supposed to be partying, but if you don't snitch, then they won't snitch on you. I was like, oh, well, you could try that. And then it just kind of cycled into this really rebellious behavior, where I lived out in the country, and so it was hard to convince people to come pick me up when I was 14, 15. And sometimes I would just take the car out. I'd put blankets on the taillights and roll it in neutral down the driveway and started at the bottom, watched a YouTube video how to drive a car.
That's crazy.
Took the car and just said go party, go hang out with people. Wow. And got caught for doing that. And then started smoking weed, started just living real fast at 15 years old. And man, it just one step, it just kind of cycled into this lifestyle and this lying and anger and trying to be popular, trying to be cool, just live the way the world lives. And during this too, I was still going to church. And it got to a point actually, my sophomore year, that the church leaders kind of pulled me and my buddies aside. And they just asked us, why do you come to church? Just being honest. They're like, you have your license now, you guys don't have to come just because your parents come. And it almost felt like they were politely asking us to stop coming to youth group, because we were so disruptive.
It's crazy.
We would it was somehow my goal was to disrupt the sermon. And it was just horrible. And so I knew a lot of people in my church were living lukewarm. And I knew enough about Jesus that I knew that was wrong, to be hypocritical, being good church boy on Sunday and then going to school and being disruptive. So I understood to just stay cold. Well, I'm not going to follow Jesus now. And my plan was to kind of after college, when I'm, mid-20s, that's when I'll surrender and follow the rules. This is what I really thought Jesus was. And so I just denied it. And, a lot of the people that took me under their wing when I was a freshman, seeing that I was trying to find fulfillment and started partying with them, they became my good friends. And there's this one guy who's he's a legend, bro. His name is Slick Rick, legal name, Slick Rick Nelson.
Slick Rick Nelson?
Yeah. Big Islander dude. He was going to be the captain of our football team that following year. And this is my end of my sophomore year, going into my junior year, summer. And, Slick invited everybody out to the Oregon coast and Pacific City to have a bonfire and just hang out.
Wow. The
day before our first football practice. And I told my parents, hey, we're going to go to the beach tonight. We'll be back before midnight. We have football tomorrow. And my mom pulled me from my room and was like, sat me down and was like, no, you're not going. I was like, why? And she's like, because I said so. And that was never good enough for me. So I was pressing her, I'm going, like my friends are on their way right now to pick me up. And my mom just broke down in tears and said, I have a bad feeling about it. And I just knew I couldn't manipulate my way out of that. Because I'd always be able to find some way to manipulate other people's words or their desires or will and then get what I want out of them. And at that point too, I was just like, well, I can't. So I'm just not gonna go. It was like one of the first times where I was just like, I respect that you have a bad feeling, like I will be obedient.
Dang.
And then I got a call at 3 a.m. that Slick fell off the cliff and died.
Wow.
And people were like, we're running from the police. We're scared we're gonna get MIPs. You know, we've been drinking, partying, and Slick was hammered, fell off the cliff. And it was a blessing I wasn't there to see it happen, because I know every single person that was there and they were very traumatized from that. And it was just so devastating for our community. He was a community leader of our football team, comes from a rough family, and he was going to be the first person in their family to go to college. He had college scholarships for playing defensive end.
Wow.
And when he died, a lot of people repented and went to church. Young Life was really big at our school, and people were trying to be better. But I was a part of the crowd that kind of was like, no, we need to pour one out for Slick, like live life to the full. And a lot of people turned to me and they're like, Michael, you're just like Slick. You got to carry on his legacy. I was like, all right, let's do it. And I'd be pouring out a 40 for Slick. And man, I was just so blind, like living in true blindness, that I thought that was okay. And that summer went on, our football team still got together when we were supposed to have our first practice. I mean, the coaches canceled it, but everyone just mourned together. A lot of people that were at the beach were on the team too, and they were just wailing in the locker room. And it was tough for our community. And I think it was a lot harder for me, but I just buried it down. My emotions were not, I don't know, man. I was just so young. I was 16. But started partying harder, started doing other drugs than just smoking weed. Got into mushrooms, LSD, cocaine, and it got to a point actually at the end of that summer. And during this summer is when the church leaders asked us, why did we even come? And then I remember waking up 3 days in a row where I was wondering to myself, because I would wake up and I have no idea how did I ended up here or my friend's house, wherever. And I was asking myself, how am I not dead in prison or in the hospital? And I'd have these little flashbacks of what happened in the night. And I remember going off the road, driving, going through a ditch, and then somehow getting the car back onto the road. And it was just wow, I'm really lucky. And I could feel the Lord just tugging on my heart, this is your grace. This is my grace on your life. And around the same time, my Young Life leader, and I went to 1 or 2 Young Life clubs that they have, and the leader of it at our school, he sought after me. He would take me out to lunch, and I'd be this guy's gonna pay for my lunch. Call my buddies and be do you guys want to come with me? He's gonna pay for your lunch. And then I would do that, and then his name was Dan, and Dan would just call me out. He's like, Michael, you cannot bring your friends just because I'm paying for your lunch. He would just not have it, and I respected that. And he sat me down for lunch before my junior year started, and he just asked me, where do you see your life going? Just genuinely, the path that you're on, where do you see it heading towards? And then he said, you saw where it lead slick. And I was just like, whoa.
Dang.
That's heavy. And he was just pressing me to turn to the Lord. Because he's like, Michael, I know you believe in God, but you're still holding on to your life. The Lord wants to hold on to your life. He's asking you to surrender everything to him. And I think it was the next day after that, my best friend at the time, he approached me with my first business deal. It was to sell cocaine in our town. And that he got approached from an older guy, and that he wanted me to be his business partner. And that like the upfront money was, I don't know how much, like $10K or something.
Wow.
And I just saw like very, very clearly, Dan's pointing me to Jesus. The world's telling me to go down this path. I saw two forks in the road at 16 years old, and I surrendered my life to Jesus. And I never felt the Holy Spirit before that. And it just like rushed in the streams of living water over me. And I got lit up, man. And this was like a week or two before my junior year of high school. And you know, when you're going into your junior year, you're like, all right, I'm an upperclassman, like I'm a leader of the school.
Yeah.
Kind of eyes are on you, but you're not yet a senior, but you're like cool somehow just because you're a junior. And I remember running through the halls, man, and like telling people, Jesus is real. Like going back to the same parties I was getting invited to and telling people like, you don't need this stuff that the world's offering you.
Dang.
Like I met Jesus and he's real. He's better than any drug you've ever tried.
It's radical.
Yeah, and I went back to the same church I got kind of kicked out of. And they saw the change in me, man. It was so cool for them to be like in awe of like the Lord's hand in my life and just the answered prayers that they've been praying over me for years. And I remember worshiping with like the first time with a true, sincere heart. And the Lord felt like he took me up to the rafters of the church. And it was like this blissful feeling, man. And the Lord spoke to me and said, I'm better than any drug you've ever tried. And like from that day, I was just like all in, running after Jesus. And that was 10 years ago.
Wow.
From like 2 months ago in September.
Dang.
So I'm a 10-year-old little baby Christian still. But like true, like I knew the Lord growing up, like, but when I got like radically changed and saved by the Holy Spirit when I was 16, that was when I really found my purpose and meaning in this life.
It's powerful, bro. I didn't realize how close like our stories are together until I heard your full testimony. I think it's the first time that I've heard like, it's still not cover to cover, but you know. Yeah. But like in detail, it's just really powerful. It's amazing what the Holy Spirit can do and how it sounds like he used conviction. Like he was hard on you. And I feel like that was like something that he had to do with me. Because when you're radically for the world, like sometimes you need to kind of be knocked off your horse a little bit or smacked upside the head to follow him. But yeah, I feel that so strongly. But that makes sense for your personality too. Like that's just who I know you to be. It's just a radical dude.
Yeah.
Radical. So that's amazing.
I feel like a lot of, people who grew up in these faith-based homes like I did too, you experience a moment of pain, and a lot of times you either turn to, and being so young too, you either turn towards the Lord or you're angry at him and you're mad at him, and all of a sudden there's a trust issue there. And I think, why not give the world a try? There's this other option on the table. Why not just try it? And it always ends in so much devastation and a facade of what you think you want, and then you get into it and you feel like you're trapped. And that's where church hurt starts to come in. Like I experienced a lot of church hurt when I had a really long season of rebellion against the Lord and anger with him. And it's so hard when God's people don't want you there anymore, because you're human, you're broken, you're sinful, and the Lord responds so differently. And praise God that he does, because if we were responsible for people turning to the Lord, then we would fail miserably every time. But how has that trust between you and the Lord built back up since that season of your life?
That's a really good question. Because I mean, even right now, I'm in a season where I feel like he's stretching me. And the people around me too, that I'm close with, he's doing the same thing. So we're like kind of walking in this parallel. And which is, I mean, honestly, just saying that is just his grace upon our lives to show that other people are in similar seasons that we can bond with or lean on, that they understand. Because, I mean, stretching looks different for everybody.
Right.
But no, I mean, just the peace too that fell on me when I surrendered my life fully, knowing that, like, he is trustworthy. Like, he has our days numbered. Like, I used to fear death so much, even before, like, what happened to Slick. And this coming to having peace about, like, our days are numbered. Like, I cannot do anything about it, man. Like, it's in his hands. Like, our lives are fragile, but it's his grace that is over us to give us breath.
Right.
And so, but yeah, there's been seasons of deeper reliance on the Lord, desperation, and then there's been mountaintop experiences too, of times that are just fun with the Lord.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's this great man that says that the Christian walk is it's not about going from a valley to a mountain, but it's about going from valleys to mountains, valleys to mountains. So it's always expected that when you're on a mountain with the Lord and things look great, like, he's preparing you to go back through the valley.
It's good. It's really good. How's, like, those seasons that you have been obedient and, like, really trusting him? And even just in the little time that I've known you, man, it's like, it's so crazy how rebellion is such a big part of your story, because the way I know you, and look, guys, Michael's not perfect, all right? Even though it seems like
close.
it.
No.
Dude, you just, like, are marked by obedience, like radical obedience. Like, for example, I don't know if I told you this, but Michael was talking to me the other day, and I don't know if it was here or on the phone. He was like, dude, like, I think I want to get rid of my 4Runner. And I was like, okay. I was like, I'm sure you can get a lot of money out of it. Like, 4Runners, like, they hold value for a long time. And he's like, no, like, I want to drive it to Mexico and give it away. I was like, what are you talking about? And he's like, I just feel like that's what the Lord wants me to do. And I'm like, that's crazy, bro. Like, in the way you're marked by that obedience, man, it's amazing.
I love that you said that, because now it's like, I've told too many people. But
now you have to do it.
It's sitting right behind the camera right now,
It
too.
is.
Oh, man.
But I bought it from my friend, and I knew that truck belonged in Mexico when I bought it.
Wow.
And because, I mean, the biggest thing is that it's 2-wheel drive. Like, I'm not going to take it to Oregon. I'm not going to take it to Colorado in the mountains. Like, it's not good for the snow.
Yeah.
But it's a perfect surf rig, and my favorite place to surf is in Mexico. And that's where I have a bunch of friends that need cars.
Wow. That's amazing, bro. So how is that obedience, like, how has the Lord worked that obedience in your life? And then has that, like, translated to those mountain moments? It's like when you're obedient in the valley?
Yes. I think it goes alongside of giving the Lord our yes with our surrender. Like, giving everything to him on his feet. Like, the times in my life where I've seen the most blessing or just goodness from the Lord are always when I'm not expecting it, for one. And then they stem from our obedience in saying yes, and in our surrender, believing that you take what he's given to you and give it back to him, not even wanting the tenfold from it, but it's just his nature to then replenish it and add more. So I don't know if that, like, necessarily answers your question, but does it?
I think it does. I think that's good, man. I think it is in his nature, just as a father.
Yeah.
Obviously, like, it's not based on what we do. The grace that he gives and the mercy that he gives, it's not based on our works at all. But like, I do believe that he rewards obedience, and his reward for obedience is more of him. And he's goodness. He's literally goodness. So all goodness that we receive, it's him. And so that's the way, you're right, he replenishes us. But dude, you talk a lot about traveling. Do you like have any favorite places to go? Any like crazy times you've had with the Lord on the mountaintops or surfing?
Yeah, I went to Oklahoma once. It's like 20 minutes this way. And I got my sailboat out there and I got stuck. That's it.
That's the story.
My motor died.
Here, bro.
I got 2 paddles and I paddled back.
I mean, thank goodness you made it back.
No. So my favorite places I've been, Morocco is number 1. Just beautiful. They still have Nokia phones there. So you hear the Nokia ringtone going off and you're like, dude, I just went back in time. And they're all driving like 1960s cars and stuff still. But I went there, I went surfing, met the raddest group of people at the skate park, and we stayed together for like 3 weeks and got an Airbnb and rented a car, went up the coastline and just went surfing, stayed at different hostels, and it was really cool. It was like a group of us, and everyone was from a different continent. Some guys from Africa, some guys from Europe, some guys from Central or South America. And we just all happened to get along and meet each other at the same time.
That's crazy. That's cool.
We still stay in touch. Brazil, I went to Brazil this last year with Nick Vujicic, and went to 7 different cities in 7 days. So we spent like 1 day in each city and we just flew. It was really cool. And I like Portugal a lot, and Spain.
That's so cool.
And Oklahoma.
See, you're a really good example of what we mean when we say that, like, a life with Jesus isn't boring. It's actually more chaotic than any.
That's so true.
I don't care what kind of high you're on. If you've experienced walking with the Lord, it kind of feels like you're in a fever dream sometimes. Sometimes I'm like, what just happened? And you can't explain it. Some miracle just happened in front of you, and you're like, all right, just another Tuesday or something.
Yeah. It's not until like you share it with somebody else and then you're like, you see their reaction and then you're like, oh wait, maybe that wasn't as normal as that.
It's not as casual. Not as casual as you would think it would be.
Yeah.
But yeah, like part of obedience and trusting the Lord with your life is not signing up for a boring life at all. Like, I think that there's such a misconception, and honestly, maybe that's on us for making it seem that way. Definitely not you, but at all. But that, like, obedience is trusting him, and it's how you tell God that you love him. I heard that recently. Like, the best way to tell God I love you is by obedience to him. And every time he meets you with something that you wouldn't expect. So what's your next big, adventure or?
Gosh, I don't know.
That's so fair.
I do in part, but it's like 20 different things, and I'm like, God, which one do I do first, or which one is next? So I think I'm moving back to Oregon, which sucks. I'm like happy about it, but I'm also like bummed because I finally feel like I just started to make friends and found community in North Dallas. But it also doesn't mean I'm not going to come back.
You better.
I'll come back.
You better come back.
But like to move back, maybe, I don't know.
Need to have Michael as like a reoccurring guest. Like every 3 episodes we got Michael.
Or we could go to Oregon.
Oh, we could go to Oregon.
You guys would love Oregon.
What's your favorite spot in Oregon?
Like city or?
Yeah. Like just like favorite place of the state, part of the state.
I have so many, but my favorite town's Bend, Oregon.
Bend?
Yeah, B-E-N-D. It's right in the middle of Oregon, Central Oregon, and they have 300 sunny days per year.
Wow.
It snows the other 65 days. And then the snow will just stay and it'll be sunny. It's like this dreamy place.
It's beautiful.
It's in the high desert, so it's super dry. It could be like 0 degrees in Bend. Feels warmer than like 40 degrees in Texas, dude.
Really?
I don't know what it is. The humidity here just makes everything feel so much colder.
It's the first time I've ever heard that.
Like, I've been in my t-shirt during winters in Bend in the sun when it's 20 degrees out and it feels warm. Like we were like sunbathing while we're in college or whatever.
20 degrees sunbathing?
Yeah.
Dude, that's insane.
I don't know.
That's wild.
But yeah, I like Bend a lot. It's 20 minutes from the greatest ski resort in the world, Mount Bachelor.
Okay.
And then they have a river that runs through it. That's where the city's name comes from. It's the bend in the river. So the pioneers that were walking over there,
Okay.
they're like, oh, we stopped in Bend because it's the big bend in the river.
Yeah.
And they built a surf wave there so you can surf in the river, and then there's like good rock climbing, mountaineering.
Yeah.
A lot of things to do, which is part of my surrender to give up those things to move here, to take a job as a caregiver.
Right. That's like a crazy thing that I feel like not a lot of people talk about. Is a lot of times the Lord will ask us for something that like we hold dear, you know, and the obedience looks like we're surrendering it to Him, giving it up. But once the Lord knows that He has our heart in that way, and He sees us walk in obedience and give up the thing that we loved, like honestly, pretty close to, you know, how much we love the Lord, unfortunately, He gives it back.
Yeah.
Because He knows He can trust us with it. You know, it's like Abraham and Isaac. My dad says that a lot. He's like, you need to surrender your Isaac. I'm like, that's a terrible example to use, but okay. But once you do it, like the Lord knows that He has your heart, and you're able to walk out that thing that your heart desires, you know? And sometimes we need that so that not only like the Lord knows He can trust us, but in addition to that, when He gives it back to us, it's His way. And we can even enjoy that thing through Him and not anybody else. So, I don't know. I just find that fascinating.
No, that's good, man.
Is that what you feel like is happening right now? Like, you have a purpose for going back, or?
Yeah, I actually spent a day up at Broken Bow and I fasted for one day and just sought the Lord. And at the end of it all, I was like, God, I want to hear like what you want me to do. And I wasn't angry with the Lord, but I'm like, I just want to know, like, what's next? And I had this sense in my heart, this like kind of push towards Oregon. And I was like, I don't want to go back to Oregon. But to walk in obedience, it's like, okay, if you call me back, I'll go. But me thinking that I'm moving to Texas, I figured I'd be here for 5 years, 6 years, and learn and be built up in some sense, to then go back to Oregon and be strong and to make change. If that's through politics or through business or just through the church. Like, Oregon is a very dark place spiritually.
Yeah.
And it's very corrupt as far as the government operates there. And I've seen it very, very firsthand. And I mean, I grew up in Salem. My mom's worked at the Capitol my whole life, and she's been in politics.
Wow.
And a lot of her friends have been canceled and went through bankruptcy because of just crazy things, because of the media skewing the truth. There's this agenda that's being pushed. And when I moved to Texas, I'm like, whoa, I could talk to anybody and like share my opinion, and like they don't spit in my face.
Unless you're talking to Mimi, in that case. Like,
No.
just like happens all the time, you know?
I mean,
All my thoughts to myself.
that's how it was, especially going through university and the school systems in Oregon. Like, I just bite my tongue.
Yeah.
The times I did speak up, I got punished for it, felt like. But anyway, I guess the same way my obedience in saying yes to moving to Texas, is a parallel of going back, because when I moved to Texas, I got offered to be a caregiver for Nick Vujicic. And that's a crazy story in itself.
Yeah.
You want to talk about that?
Yeah, dude, of course.
So where should I start? Okay, well, after college, I had this vision to create this peer-to-peer rental app that was for outdoor equipment. So think of like Airbnb, but for outdoor equipment. So if you own a pair of skis, you can rent it out through my platform.
Okay, wait, I've heard of this app, actually.
I doubt it. Ours went through the...
Wait, did it like happen?
Yeah,
I
we
think
launched the app.
Maybe
There was
it
another competitor that launched the week before ours was released in the App Store, and I was like, why did this happen? Like, I just worked like my butt off to get here, and then this company came in, and anyway, they actually didn't make it either. I tried, we saw some success, never went and got funding. Like, I was just trying to figure out how to run a startup, and it became like an idol in my life, actually. And even that, I was like, God, this isn't going anywhere. I believe like you led me into this. I know that you never said it was going to be successful. I think that's a lot of the times Christians are led into something, assuming that God's going to bless it and it's going to be successful. But that's not what our eyes should be focused on. It should always be on Jesus, and that our obedience is what he's after.
Yeah.
In that there's always a lesson. There's always something to learn in failure and in trying something. Just having the guts to try is like amazing in itself. And so, anyway, I saw the app's name was Sequa. It wasn't going anywhere. I didn't make bad decisions. I made stupid mistakes trying to start this business, but I surrendered it to the Lord, and I asked him, and I really think at this time too in my life, I was very prideful. Like, I built this thing. I didn't want to give up any equity. Like, it was my thing. And I could see like, okay, this is not good. So I fully surrendered it to God, and I was like, I will not touch this. Like, if you have something better for me, let me know. What do you want me to do? And my exact prayer was that I would be a servant, and that I would be somebody that washes Jesus' disciples' feet. Wow. And 6 months later, I was working for a dear friend of mine, Vance Day. And this is the guy that got dragged through the mud when I was growing up, went through bankruptcy, got sued for being anti-LGBTQ, whatever. But just because he was open about his beliefs. And in Oregon, they're not okay with that.
You can't do it.
And so I was helping him build his house while I was in college. And he was paying me like garbage, but I just wanted to be around Vance because he was a strong man of God. And he happened to be in a Bible study with Nick Vujicic. And Nick asked the Bible study, in mind, this is a couple months after my prayer. Nick asked the Bible study to be praying that he would find a new caregiver. And Vance, when Nick said that, said he heard from the Holy Spirit that Michael Boles needs to go be Nick's caregiver. And so Vance told Nick. Nick was like hesitant about it. Vance told me over the phone, and he was telling me like the whole backstory, and like I was like, okay, what is he gonna ask me? Like, I could feel like the weight of it too. And then he told me what he heard from the Lord, and my heart like sank, and I became so scared. Because I saw this vision right when he said that, of us entering into the kingdom, and the Lord says, well done, my good and faithful servant. And I saw that we're going to be able to see every opportunity that God gave us to serve him in his kingdom. And that we're going to be judged for what we said. And I was like, well, I need to say yes. And I knew right away, I was like, I'm going to have to say yes, in obedience. But because I really didn't want to move to Texas, I didn't want to be a caregiver. But I was almost certain that Nick was going to say no. I was like, there's no way this guy, I didn't really know who he was, honestly. And just from what Vance told me about him, how he travels and he meets people, and I would be like doing a lot of things for him. I was like, I don't think I could do that. Like, but I'll have to say yes. So Nick hired somebody else, and that person quit. That person quit in 2 weeks.
Oh
and
my gosh.
I broke all the rules that Nick has for his caregivers: local, married, a certain age, like experience, whatever. And then Nick calls me, and I was down in Mexico helping my sister's YWAM team build some houses. It was around the time of the solar eclipse a couple years ago, 2 years ago. And Nick calls me, we had it scheduled or whatever, and we talked for an hour, and he was in the next town over in Mexico at the same time. He was like, oh, this is interesting.
Just like by chance?
Yeah.
Oh, I say by chance, but it wasn't.
No, it was the Lord.
Yeah.
And so we talked for an hour, just hit it off. I was like, man, this guy's super down to earth, like loves the Lord, like has such a tremendous amount of faith. And at the end of the conversation, he says, no, I have peace about it. I want you to come move to Texas, be my caregiver starting in like 2 months. I was like, all right, cool. Just like, email Carla, his assistant. She'll email you. I was just like, all right, well, I guess I'm moving to Texas. And in my whole time with it too, I'm like, and I mean, I joke about like, he's not going to hire me because I can barely take care of myself at the time. Like, how am I supposed to be trusted to take care of a man that was born without arms or legs too? But I just knew so clearly, like, it was the Lord's will to go and do what I'm doing now. And I think in my yes, that's when the equipping came. Like, my first day of work was like, whoa, I'm like supernaturally able to do this. And like my whole heart posture changed. And I talked before we started recording about being in a season of being quick to listen and slow to speak, and really denying my own will and my own thoughts to tend to what Nick needs. And it's taught me a lot. Like, I don't know exactly what the Lord's preparing me through this experience for. It kind of scares me, to be honest. Like, what an interesting path that the Lord has me on. And even during like the last year, my first day of being in Texas, Nick asked me like what some of my goals were, and I was like, I want to buy a house here. And I had like $10 in my bank account. I don't know how much I had, not very much. But I was like, it's going to take a miracle to be able to buy a house. And then this idea for a book. We could talk about the book if you want.
Yeah, please.
Oh, he's told me about the book. I need to hear about the book.
It's such a good book. Oh man, so much has happened in the last year and a half. But do you want to talk about the book?
Yeah. Talk about the book.
I feel like this is a really good chance to like bait the listener right now.
We're not going to bait you.
We're going to talk about politics.
We're not going to talk about politics, but we will talk about the book. Michael wrote a very informational, action-packed, filled to the brim book. Would you like to talk about what it's called?
It is titled The Achievements of Kamala Harris.
And again, we're not getting political. It's just really funny. Because what's in the book, Michael?
I would describe it more as like a fill in your own truth type book. We should have sent him out with a pen, but it's completely blank. It's 191 pages of the chapter titles, the page numbers, and there's nothing in the book.
It's crazy. It's so funny. President Trump has a copy, right? And I don't know. I'm sure a lot of people in right-wing politics have a copy because they think it's funny. But honestly, if it was about anybody else, like, it would also be funny to me. Like, if it was about Trump, I think it would be funny. But we're not gonna get political. I just think I think it's hilarious. But tell us, like, kind of what that book did for you. Like, obviously it was just a little joke with your friend, but like, tell us about the progression of that. Like, what happened?
Yeah, no, I had the idea, and by the time I'd get off working with Nick in the evenings, I'd go home and figure out like how quickly can I publish a book in Amazon, and it took 2 weeks to do. I mean, there's not a lot of content in it, but
Didn't you write a foreword though?
yeah, my friend wrote it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So he's the author.
Yeah.
I put myself as the book illustrator. So I don't want my name on it. I don't care for credit for anything. But anyway, I snuck in like 7 copies in a Walmart just down the road here in Anna, Texas, in my shirt. It felt like the reverse of shoplifting. Like walking in like, hey, what's up, security guy? And I go to the book section and I'm looking around and I just put them on the shelf, like move some books around to find like the price that was similar, and then waited around for 20 minutes for somebody to come through and try to look at the book and get the reaction. I was just gonna film a video. And no one did it, and I was like, all right, I'm tired of waiting around. So I just like filmed this stupid TikTok, and it went like really viral actually. Like 100 million views.
What?
Yeah, my friends in Australia were like, dude, this is the same book like that you posted on your TikTok. Everyone thought that I literally just found the book in Walmart and nothing to do with it. And that my video just happened to go viral because I just like baited it, like, look at what I just found.
Dude, that's crazy.
Only in Texas Walmart where you find this blank book. And so people started buying it. We sold 30,000 copies in 2 weeks.
In 2 weeks?
Yeah.
Oh my.
Are people still buying copies?
Yes. Yes. It's crazy.
Oh,
Not very much. Like,
It's insane, bro.
it was only like a 2-3 week, you know. It's the chart that you don't want to see your business have, where it goes up and then it just goes down. 2 weeks. So anyway, that was what I figured was my miracle from the Lord.
Wow.
And so this is the house that I ended up buying with some of the cut money that I had. And it was abandoned. I don't know if I told you that this house was abandoned.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, there's squirrels living in the bathroom right over here.
It's a beautiful house now. Done it up and everything.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
It's my first time doing anything like this.
That is, God is so funny sometimes. That is insane. apart from, you know, obviously apart from politics, that's honestly such a profound, like, message to give, just in general. Like, if you get to heaven and you expect you know, Jesus being like, this is all the awesome things you do, like, it just all falls, like, we all will fall to his feet and give all the credit to him every single time. And whenever he first told me about that book, I thought, like, first off, thought it was, you know, so funny. And then I thought about it and I was like, but wow, like, that is actually such a powerful message in literally no words.
Yeah, it's really sad, honestly, that our culture is at the point where people love something like that so much.
Yeah, for sure.
But it is powerful, I guess.
Yeah.
I think we look at politicians too strongly. We hold them too high.
Right. We're all trying to get, you know, some sort of, we're all trying to do. I think that's one of the enemy's, like, greatest tactics is to tell you to do and do and do. And it's like exhausting. And like, no matter who you are, I think that that's something that you're going to get to eternity and you're going to realize, wow, I could have lived my life dwelling instead of trying to work and work and work. Yeah,
that's something Nick says a lot, actually, is busy is an acronym for being under Satan's yoke.
Wow.
And I think that really could shake up the church right now.
Yeah, dude, when he preached that message at Anchor,
Uh-huh.
I was like, I didn't get to watch it in person, but I watched the video on YouTube after, and after he said that, I was like,
Did he say that?
I was like,
that?
yeah, I was like, dude, I was like, he's so right. Like,
Yeah.
that's so real. That's the easiest way to distract us is making us think that we're busy doing the Lord's work.
I know. It's scary. Dude, it's a really sobering thought, actually. But that, you know what? That reminded me, too, of like a year ago, I knew that this time was coming at the end of my contract with Nick. It's my last days in a week and a half from now. I have one more shift with him, which is like so sad. I'm like doing the last thing. Like I went to Anchor with him last Sunday for the last time.
Yeah.
I'm just like, oh, I'm gonna miss this so much. But I felt the Lord wanting me to do after this season was to rest and be still. And I'm already like, my flesh is like, okay, what's next? Like I want to do. But I think the most that we can get done a lot of times is to be still and rest.
Wow. Yeah. That's something that's hard for a lot of us, you know, especially like I know me and you are very similar in the way our like brain operates, although the Lord made you different, bro. Like I'll walk in and Michael has like 3 new inventions that I've never seen in my entire life that he's like, I just put this together. But yeah, it's like for me, sometimes it makes me more tired to rest.
Yeah.
If I'm not resting in the Lord, like I feel worse about myself. Genuinely. I feel like a lot of times I'm only at peace when I'm busy because it keeps me occupied and it keeps my mind moving.
Yeah, it's kind of distracting to then have to deal with like the real elephant in the room.
Yeah. Because that was like the thing for me too. I know you talked about like drugs and I was obviously like big into escaping. And so that's still like something I fall into a lot of like, how do I escape this situation? And a lot of times it's just by doing work that's kind of unnecessary and doing work that distracts me, like the good stuff that's not God, you know, the good, not God stuff that people talk about. But I wanted to ask, because our like obviously podcast is called Hosting the Spirit. Do you have any like crazy Holy Spirit moments in your life that like just kind of shaped you? I know we've talked about a lot of them, but I've heard some of your traveling stories and, you know, some of the stories that you've had with Nick.
Yeah.
Anything you can think of?
I mean, it's all like, there's not a lot of big moments that shaped me besides my testimony when I was 16 and encountering the Spirit for the first time. But a lot of the moments that I've gone through and stories I have are just little chisel marks.
Wow.
And it's like the Lord sculpting us. But always having like the heart posture of, Father, you are the potter, I'm the clay. Like mold me into whatever you want me to be.
Yeah.
Like, that's one of my favorite prayers. And to stay moldable, not get dry, but stay like moist in the Lord's hands, you know, like being near living water and seeking Him and thirsting for Him. But one of my favorite stories, it's a pretty wild one, was I had this desire when I was in Italy. I was just solo traveling after COVID kind of ended, and I was one of the first Americans over there. Like the week that they opened the borders.
Dang, dude.
I was like, I'm gonna go. And so I went by myself. No one was down to go. I was like, I would call my friends and be like, where's a place on your bucket list that you've always wanted to go to, that you've always talked about going to? And they're like, oh, I want to go to Greece. I'm like, this October, I'll meet you there. I'm gonna go over there and I'll meet you there. Like, let's go. They're like, okay, let's go. And no one actually came. But I was in Italy and I wanted to go see the Dolomites, which are like these beautiful, jagged mountains in the northern region of Italy, part of the Alps. And it was in the end of September 2021. And I figured like how to get there kinda. I took like this hitchhiking app called BlaBlaCar and got to this next town. And then from there, I took like the train to the other town and then I took a bus up closer to the mountain. And I got in like at 9:04. I remember the time, because the only hostel in the town, the only hotel closed at 9. I got there 4 minutes too late and the lady was yelling at me and she's like, you can't stay here.
Wow.
I'm like, it's in the mountains, it's cold outside. I had a sleeping bag. And I was like, well, where am I supposed to stay? And she's like, I don't know. I can't help you.
Wow.
Like, go, leave. I'm like, well, can I at least fill up my water? And she rolls her eyes and she's like, fine. And then she's like, I'm gonna miss my bus now because like I was supposed to leave 2 minutes ago. I'm like, okay, I'm sorry. and so it's so interesting, like to not, be able to stay at a hotel. And it was figured on Google Maps, oh, there's some barns like nearby. I'm gonna like go off to the town and like go stay in someone's barn. Which sounds really crazy. But everyone in Italy is like really chill and nice. Like there's no like, well maybe there are some crackheads, but not in the mountains.
You were gonna go sleep in a rogue barn?
Yeah, I found like a vineyard that was just down the street and they had like a barn. I figured it was maybe unlocked.
Maybe some wine in there.
Yeah.
Some bread. Take
yeah. And I was walking towards that barn. I found on Google Maps, and there's all these young people, young men, like in this yard in front of this house. And I just like asked them, like, do you guys speak English? And they're like, no. Like they got the translator out. And I was like, is this a hotel? Is this a hostel? Can I stay here? And then, the translation, and they're like, oh no, but you can stay with us. They're like, you're from America? I'm like, yeah. They're like, we're from Pakistan. You want to stay with us? I was like, is that okay? They're like, yeah, but you can't tell anybody. And so we walked 5 miles the other direction. It like took us so long. Maybe it was only 2 miles, I can't remember, and then they had this broken bike that they were like kind of being able to ride. And they barely spoke any English. We were just using translation, and they ended up being refugees from Pakistan, old Muslim people. It was like, it must have been like a mosque or something that I saw these young guys at. And they housed me in their government like program facility. And they snuck me in. And I knew the whole time, I'm like, the Lord destined for this meeting to happen. And I just like, with translation, they understood a little bit of English and got to share the gospel with them. And like, just explain who Jesus was and hopefully love them and that they got to encounter Jesus. And we still stay in touch a little bit on Snapchat or Instagram. But those guys, like one of them got a job as an apple picker and the other one got a job, I think, as an electrician or plumber.
That's amazing.
And they would travel like 2 hours to the next town over to be in the apple orchard or in, I don't know, electrician place.
That's incredible, bro.
So that was like one of the coolest things that happened in Europe.
Dang.
What else is there?
I actually ended up being able to stay in a barn the next night. I slept on a door.
You found your barn. You slept on a door?
Yeah, there was a door in this old barn. I was on top of the mountaintop, like around sunset, and I knew that like the last gondola lift that, takes you to the top was like scheduled for 30 minutes out. And there was these Americans up there, they were doing like a photo shoot, they were models from LA. They're like, where are you staying tonight? Like, you have your whole bag up here, what are you doing? I was like, see those barns down there? These little huts? I'm willing to bet one of them's unlocked. They're like, you're joking. I was like, no. Then I went down there like after they left on the gondola, and one of them was unlocked.
So you slept there?
Yeah.
Oh my
I
god.
FaceTime my friends, I'm like, look where I'm at. I'm in this barn.
Just another day. That's you're probably one of the most like nonchalant people about the craziest things.
Well, to me, they're all just normal.
Right, yeah. They're just daily things that happen.
Just how he lives his life.
Yeah, like you prayed the prayer like, Lord, use me as your humble servant, and he ran with it 110%. So, yeah,
I think
sure.
the Lord loves it when our yes is yes and our no is no.
Yes.
Not to be like, God, I know that this is the prayer that I want, that you want me to pray, but like actually giving it to him. Mm-hmm. And like, I want that. Like, I want to be a man after your own heart.
And that's hard. Like, that's a heart transformation because I mean, I have moments where I'm like, okay, like I know I'm supposed to say yes, so I'm saying yes, and my heart isn't fully there. But I feel like everything that you've talked about, you give your yes and you give it like 100% because you love the Lord so much. And I mean, that's definitely something that I need to reflect on too in my own life. But
Yeah, I mean, everything else is rubbish. Like, everything the world has to offer.
vanity.
This house, the cars, like, it all, like, does not come with us. And that's what's cool about, I think, your guys' heart in starting this podcast, hosting the Spirit. It's hosting the Spirit or hosting the presence?
It's hosting the Spirit.
You got me switched up.
No, I know. It's because I'm reading that Bill Johnson book. Yeah.
Yeah, that was an option, but then we...
Is it Bill Johnson's book?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's about people. Like, investing in the kingdom is investing in people, because it's our souls are the only thing that's going to be continued on into eternity.
Yeah. You were obviously you're our first guest, but like sincerely, you were the first person I thought of to have on. Just because when I think about all my friends and all the people I'm close with, I think when you're in ministry, and even when you're not in ministry, but you're like following Jesus and you have a community of believers around you, I think you start to kind of recognize how the Holy Spirit works in other people and their lives, and you start to be like connected to them in like a David Jonathan kind of way, where it's like, I think the Bible even says our souls were connected or their spirits were connected, something like that. But I've had very few encounters with people where I'm like, either the Lord's going to use us together now to do amazing things, or it's further down the road. But you're one of those guys. Like, and I think we've talked about this too. But you're one of those guys. Ben Delaire's one of those guys. Braxton Meekum's one of those guys. Like, but man, you make me want to run through a wall for Jesus. Like you make me want to go to battle, bro. And I'm just so encouraged to have you as a friend.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, dude, it's phenomenal. And I feel like, I wanted to ask you this too, because I feel like you're one of those people that does host the Spirit so well. Like, and what we mean by that is like Ephesians 2:22, talking about how we're being built into a holy dwelling place, a sanctuary for the Holy Spirit. What are some things that are like easy to do that help us be a better host of the Holy Spirit? And then what are the things that like, you struggle with, you feel like?
Well, I'll just tell you, it's funny you said, I inspire you to run through you said a brick wall or just a wall?
Yeah.
I was literally hitting my head against the wall this morning. It's like, God, I need you. This morning was rough, man. And
you shake up your temple a lot.
I wasn't like actually hitting my head, but I was just like, I really just need the Lord. And I forgot your question, man. What did you say?
Just like,
what are things that I do?
Yeah, what are things that you do that like you're like, man, like this helps me better host the Spirit? And then maybe what are some times in your life or like things that have been hard where it's like, man, Holy Spirit, like I feel disconnected or this is hard. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I think every day just starting your day in prayer and in the Word, like making space in your mornings or whatever time in your day that's like the most valuable to you, like surrendering that time to seek the Lord, even if it's 5 or 15 minutes. Like that is the most transformation that I've seen in my life, is just giving.
It's really good.
A small piece to really truly seeking the Lord and having spiritual disciplines that you stick with, that doesn't need to be a checkbox in your life, but something that you know is forming your spirit and allowing you to empty yourself to be filled by the Spirit.
It's wild.
And so the way I see a lot of hosting the Spirit is being filled with living water, like having this right angle, like on a triangle, has a little box that is signaling the right angle.
Yeah.
And so I call it the right angle. And the Spirit is receiving from the Lord and then being able to give to the world. And my prayer a lot of the times is I just want to be a mailman. We want to receive from the kingdom and give to the world.
Wow.
And so I think that perspective too, like, has really shaped a lot of what I do. But yeah, I mean, even the season that I'm in right now, it just seems like it's really rocky. Like, some days I'm like, okay, I see like what's next or what's down the road. And some days I'm just like, why does this keep just, like, I would try to do something and then it just fails. Like, am I not being patient enough? Am I not stewarding the things that the Lord's entrusted me with well? And so maybe it's just some doubt that's crept in.
Yeah.
You know? And I think a lot of it stems from being impatient, making decisions too quickly without considering other options.
Right.
But
yeah, I think it's easy to do that. Well, is there like anything that you'd like to say? I know you're called to young adults, really. Like I know us both, like, we got saved around that, 16, 18-year-old range, or, it can be for anybody, but is there anything that you'd want to say to, 15 or 16-year-old you, 18, 20-year-old you, like any word of advice you can leave us with?
I would just say, like, following Jesus is the greatest adventure anyone could ever live. And that's like the depths of our soul longs for that adventure. And to be rooted in Him and have to be abide by Him.
Wow.
And then it gets better. Like, your perspective broadens, the world seems smaller than when I was 15, 16. All I could see was just my own home little town, and it's amazing, like, to see how the Lord's taken me around different countries and crossing different oceans. And so I make decisions too, a lot of the times, based on my 85-year-old self.
Yeah.
I will be in a bind or in a position that I'm trying to figure something out. Then I look forward and see my 85-year-old self and ask him, what would you be glad that I did? And so that gives me a lot of perspective on life and, like, how small some of these decisions really are. Even this house, man, everyone's like, you're crazy for picking an abandoned house, like, for your first remodel. And I'm, like, talking with other people that have flipped some houses. They're like, yeah, we just, like, painted and redid, like, the baseboards and still, like, flipped it or whatever. I'm like, well, my 85-year-old self will be glad that I made this one so much harder. But it was tough, man. There were some days that I was just like, I'm in way over my head. And then I would say, I won't be the next time.
That's good.
Wow.
That's so good. Well, this was actually so much better than I could have even hoped for. Honestly, this was so good. But I feel like I did just meet you today, but I can just tell that you have already impacted so many people, and I don't think you seek credit for it, but I think the Lord is just so proud of you and feels so loved by you for your obedience and the way that you steward that in a fun way too. Like, you're not afraid to have fun with the Lord, and I think we should normalize that more. But yeah. Thank you for being our first guest today too.
Well, I'm so honored that you guys have me on.
Yeah, dude, you're amazing. It's been a lot of fun. It's been touching. You almost made me cry, bro. Like, I was like the Slick Rick story, man. It got me. But last thing I want to do, can you read off your favorite Bible verse for us? And then, yeah, for real. Let's see how fast you can turn to it.
All right, you ready?
Yes, sir.
Jesus wept. I'm just joking. I love that verse.
No, you're good, bro.
Dude, we're going to stay in John now.
Just to encourage the people.
Is this ESV?
Mm-hmm. The everyone should view version? Yeah.
Everyone should view?
Yeah.
Wow.
That should be the standardized. I'm a big ESV guy. John 4, huh?
Yeah, John 4, verse 13. Jesus said to her, "Everyone who drinks of this water will be thirsty again, but whoever drinks of the water I give him will never be thirsty again. The water that I give him will become in him a spring welling up to eternal life."
Wow.
I love the theme of living water, man. Like, it's just so good.
Yeah. Well, dude, again, we appreciate you coming on with us. Guys, I am super excited for you guys to see this episode. We love you. Thanks for tuning in. I'm Seb.
This is Mimi. We will see you in 2 weeks.
We'll see you in 2 weeks. Say bye to Michael, too.
Yeah.
He's probably moving.
Bye.
So, love you guys. Bye.